The FIFA World Cup was billed as the greatest spectacle in sports history. 3 host countries, 48 teams, 104 matches. But before a single ball was kicked, the tournament was already drowning in unprecedented drama. It became the most politically charged, chaotic, and controversial sporting event of the modern era. Today, we are looking back at everything that happened before the first whistle blew. The mid-tournament scandals that broke the internet, all the way to the final match. According to PBS NewsHour, only a tiny fraction of those cheap tickets actually existed. FIFA introduced a predatory, dynamic pricing model. Millions of fans expecting affordable $60 group stage seats and watched them instantly sell out. Prices rapidly skyrocketed to between $4,000 and $6,000 per seat, nearly 7 times higher than in Qatar 2022. Local infrastructure used the tournament to print money. The Sports Business Journal revealed that official stadium parking in LA and New York reached a staggering $225 to $300 per vehicle. For example, this is the New York-New Jersey Stadium. See all this space around it? That is roughly 28,800 parking spaces. If they pack these lots on match day, organizers are raking in over $8.6 million in parking fees alone. Strict U.S. immigration policies turned this tournament into a hostile wall. Inside the country, fear of sweeping ICE raids left undocumented communities terrified. This hit Haitian fans the hardest. Their team miraculously qualified for the first time since 1974. Yet thousands of their most passionate supporters stayed home out of fear of deportation. International travelers faced flat-out extortion. The U.S. government sparked global outrage by demanding a massive $15,000 visa bond from fans entering from 50 different countries. 5 out of these countries have qualified for the event: Algeria, Cape Verde, Ivory Coast, Senegal, and Tunisia. The political tension spilled directly onto the teams. Following the U.S.-Iran conflict, Iran's football president was denied a U.S. visa. When FIFA refused to move Iran's games to Mexico, the entire team was forced to set up camp in Tijuana, because the U.S. wouldn't allow them to stay overnight. But the most shocking casualty was Omar Artan. The reigning African Referee of the Year landed in Miami, ready to make history as the first Somali World Cup official. Instead, Border Patrol targeted him, subjected him to a grueling 11-hour interrogation over fabricated militant ties, and flat-out deported him. Down on the pitch, the environment is downright dangerous. Researchers projected that an unprecedented 14 out of the 16 host cities would smash through safe temperature thresholds, pushing past 28 degrees Celsius. Just like the 2024 Copa America, players were bound to suffer under the brutal summer sun. So FIFA stepped in with a solution: a mandatory 3-minute hydration break at exactly 22 minutes into each half. It sounds responsible, right? Except FIFA made it mandatory for every single game, even inside Atlanta's closed, climate-controlled dome. Why? FIFA's brand new, highly lucrative TV commercial window to sell to corporate sponsors. It backfired instantly. During the opening match, U.S. broadcaster Fox mismanaged their ad timing so badly they returned to the live feed 10 seconds after play had already restarted. Remember this game? Even top stars like Virgil van Dijk publicly complained that these forced commercial breaks were deeply annoying and destroyed the flow of the game. But the heat wave isn't just hurting the players, it's destroying the pitches. Because many of these NFL stadiums use artificial turf, FIFA had to lay down temporary grass. The problem? It's incredibly shallow, sometimes sitting right on top of a rock-hard concrete base. France player Adrien Rabiot said it was so rigid he couldn't even call it grass. Vinicius Jr. and Stola Solbakken both complained that the extreme heat dries these shallow pitches out in minutes, making the ball literally stick to the turf. In February 2026, Mexican forces killed cartel leader El Mencho during an operation intended to capture him. His organization responded with roadblocks, burning vehicles, and coordinated violence across Jalisco, home to Guadalajara, one of the World Cup's host cities. The pressure also reached Estadio Azteca. The construction union BWI said FIFA withdrew from an agreement allowing independent labor inspections. When union representatives arrived during the renovation, they were denied access, raising concerns about unsafe conditions, informal employment, and protections for vulnerable workers. In Canada, the controversy was financial. Toronto planned around 380 million Canadian dollars in hosting costs, while British Columbia projected hundreds of millions more. Altogether, Canadian public support for just 13 matches exceeded 1 billion Canadian dollars. Mexico won Group A, but South Africa produced the real comeback. After finishing the opening match with only 9 players, Bafana Bafana recovered to qualify in second place. South Korea's campaign went the opposite way. Before facing Mexico, an unregistered drone appeared near its closed training session in Guadalajara and was neutralized by Mexican security forces. South Korea then lost its remaining matches and was eliminated. Switzerland quietly won Group B, while Canada reached the knockout stage for the first time. The co-hosts managed it without Alphonso Davies, who missed the entire group stage while recovering from a hamstring injury. Bosnia and Herzegovina also survived as one of the best third-place teams, while Qatar finished last. Canada had lost its biggest star, but not its tournament. Brazil recovered from an uncertain start to win Group C, while Morocco advanced again and proved that its historic 2022 run was no accident. Brazil's campaign began without a fully fit Neymar, who missed the match against Haiti while recovering from a calf injury. Haiti's emotional return ended early, while Scotland was also eliminated despite remaining competitive until the final round. The United States won Group D, with Paraguay and Australia also advancing. Turkey somehow finished last despite attempting an unbelievable 62 shots across its opening 2 matches. Not one went in. By the time Turkey finally defeated a rotated American side, it had already been eliminated. 62 shots, 0 goals, and one of the strangest group stage exits in World Cup history. Germany announced itself by destroying World Cup debutant Curaçao 7-1 and eventually won Group E. Ivory Coast took second place, while Ecuador survived as one of the best third-place teams. Curaçao finished last, but its presence alone was historic. The Netherlands won Group F, but Japan advanced after overcoming chaotic preparation. Japan abandoned its original training facility in Monterrey after finding an uneven pitch covered with patches of dirt. Tunisia reacted very differently to adversity. After losing 5-1 to Sweden, it fired its coach after only 1 match. Belgium won Group G, and Egypt finished second, but Iran faced circumstances unlike any other team. Iran was ordered back to Mexico immediately after its opening match in California, instead of remaining overnight for recovery. The repeated border crossings disrupted preparations, and Iran eventually missed the knockout stage. Group H produced the tournament's greatest fairy tale. Cape Verde drew with Spain, Uruguay, and Saudi Arabia, qualifying undefeated in its first World Cup appearance. Uruguay suffered the opposite fate. Its flight to Miami was delayed by an airline error before the opening match, and the 2-time champions never recovered. France won Group 1, while Erling Haaland's Norway established itself as a genuine threat. Before the tournament, unusual footage of Senegal's airport screening caused outrage, although its federation said the procedure was arranged to accelerate the team's private travel, and qualified as one of the best third-place teams. Argentina dominated Group J, led by a 39-year-old Lionel Messi. Messi scored 6 times during the group stage, including a hat trick against Algeria, and moved beyond Miroslav Klose's long-standing World Cup scoring record. Austria and Algeria also advanced after their dramatic final draw. Portugal entered Group K as the favorite, but DR Congo immediately held Cristiano Ronaldo's team to a draw. While the attention remained fixed on Portugal, Colombia quietly took control and finished first. Portugal survived, but it no longer looked untouchable. England won Group L despite its preparations beginning with a bizarre theft. A vehicle transporting the team's equipment to Kansas City was broken into.
I've got nothing left!
Most of the equipment was later recovered. England responded by beating Croatia, topping the group and advancing alongside Ghana and Croatia. The calculations were over, and the first-ever World Cup round of 32 immediately delivered late goals, penalty shootouts, controversial decisions, and historic upsets. Canada's first knockout match appeared destined for extra time as Ronwen Williams repeatedly frustrated the co-hosts. But in the 92nd minute, Steven Eustachio finally broke South Africa's resistance, sending Canada into the round of 16 for the first time in its history. Japan came within seconds of its greatest World Cup victory. Kaishu Sano gave the Samurai Blue the lead before Casemiro equalized after halftime. Then, in the 95th minute, Gabriel Martinelli completed Brazil's comeback and eliminated Japan in the opening knockout round once again. Germany thought it had scored an extra-time winner, but VAR disallowed the goal for contact on Paraguay's goalkeeper, a decision heavily criticized afterward. Orlando Gil then saved Germany's opening penalty before Paraguay completed one of the tournament's biggest upsets. The Netherlands appeared safe after Cody Gakpo's second-half goal, but Morocco equalized during stoppage time and forced a shootout. Yassine Bounou once again became the hero, saving the decisive Dutch penalty before Morocco completed another historic knockout victory. Ivory Coast appeared to have forced extra time when Amad Diallo equalized in the 74th minute. But with 4 minutes remaining, Erling Haaland finally escaped the defense and scored his 5th goal of the tournament. Norway had won a World Cup knockout match for the first time. France produced the calmest performance of the round. Kylian Mbappé scored twice, Bradley Barcola added another, and Sweden failed to threaten the tournament favorites seriously. Mexico struck quickly through Julian Quiñones and Raúl Jiménez. 17-year-old Gilberto Mora became the youngest player to start a World Cup match since Pelé, as Mexico ended a 40-year wait for a knockout victory. DR Congo shocked England after only 7 minutes and protected its lead for more than an hour. Then Harry Kane took control. England's captain scored twice during the final 15 minutes, preventing a historic upset and rescuing his country from elimination. Senegal led by 2 goals with only 5 minutes remaining. Then Romelu Lukaku scored, Yuri Tielemans equalized, and Belgium somehow forced extra time. In the 125th minute, a VAR-reviewed penalty allowed Tielemans to complete one of the tournament's most extraordinary and disputed comebacks. Fowler and Balogun gave the United States the lead before being sent off following a controversial VAR review. The hosts were forced to defend with 10 players, but Malik Tillman's late free kick secured America's first World Cup knockout victory since 2002. Balogun's red card, however, was about to become an even larger controversy. Spain completely controlled Austria. Mikel Oyarzabal scored twice, Pedro Porro added another, and the Spanish defense allowed no shots on target. The result ended 16 years of World Cup knockout frustration and confirmed Spain as one of the tournament's strongest teams. The expected final World Cup meeting between Cristiano Ronaldo and Luka Modric delivered late drama. Croatia scored first, Ronaldo equalized from the penalty spot, and Gonzalo Ramos struck in the 94th minute. Croatia then celebrated an apparent equalizer, but a tiny touch detected during the review placed Joško Gvardiol offside and ended its tournament. Switzerland ended an 88-year wait. 20-year-old Johan Manzambi scored the opening goal with a powerful run before finding Breel Embolo, while Dan Ndoye added the second after halftime. Switzerland had won a World Cup knockout match for the first time since 1938. Australia and Egypt entered the first World Cup penalty shootout in either country's history. Australia replaced goalkeeper Patrick Beach with Matthew Ryan specifically for the shootout, but the gamble failed. Egypt converted all 4 penalties, while 2 Australians missed, sending Mohamed Salah's team into the last 16. Cape Verde's fairy tale refused to end quietly. The debutantes twice fought back against the defending champions, while goalkeeper Vozinha repeatedly denied Lionel Messi and Argentina. Cape Verde came within minutes of penalties before a Messi corner produced a heartbreaking own goal in extra time. Colombia quietly continued its unbeaten tournament. Colombia controlled the match without taking unnecessary risks. 1 goal was enough to eliminate Ghana and establish Colombia as one of the tournament's most dangerous dark horses. Canada's historic run finally ended against Morocco. The co-hosts were again without Alphonso Davies after his hamstring tightened during the warm-up, and Morocco eventually punished them. Azzedine Ounahi scored twice as the Atlas Lions became the first African nation to reach the World Cup quarterfinals more than once. France survived one of the most physical matches of the tournament. In brutal Philadelphia heat, Paraguay frustrated the favorites until VAR awarded France a penalty in the 70th minute. Kylian Mbappé converted it, sending France through. But the controversy continued afterward when a Paraguayan senator directed racist remarks toward the French captain. Then came one of the tournament's biggest shocks. Brazil missed a first-half penalty and appeared to be heading toward extra time. Instead, Erling Haaland scored twice in the final 11 minutes to eliminate the five-time champions. Neymar pulled one back from the penalty spot, but Brazil's earliest World Cup exit since 1990 was already sealed. The Azteca witnessed absolute chaos. England led 2-0 before Mexico responded, and Jarell Quansah was sent off following a VAR review that triggered furious scenes between both teams. Down to 10 men, England survived Mexico's comeback and held on for a dramatic 3-2 victory. Cristiano Ronaldo's final World Cup ended in the cruelest possible way. Portugal frustrated Spain for 90 minutes and appeared to have forced extra time. Then, in the 91st minute, substitute Mikel Merino scored the winner. Spain advanced, and Ronaldo walked away from the World Cup for the final time. Before kickoff, the biggest story was not football. FIFA controversially suspended Folarin Balogun's red card ban after President Donald Trump personally asked Gianni Infantino to review the case. Belgium protested, but then answered on the pitch. Charles de Ketelaere scored twice as Belgium demolished the United States 4-1 and eliminated the final host nation. Argentina came within 11 minutes of elimination. Egypt led 2-0, but the match was already surrounded by VAR controversy after an earlier Egyptian goal was disallowed. Argentina then scored 3 times in 13 minutes, with Enzo Fernandez completing the comeback in stoppage time. Egypt later filed a formal complaint over the refereeing. The final round of 16 match produced no goals, but plenty of pressure. After 120 minutes, Colombia's Davinson Sanchez hit the crossbar, and Gregor Kobel saved Cucho Hernandez's penalty. Ruben Vargas converted the winner, sending Switzerland into its first World Cup quarter-final since 1954. Eight teams remained. The favorites were disappearing, the pressure was rising, and every mistake now carried the weight of an entire tournament. 4 matches stood between the survivors and the World Cup semifinals. Morocco's historic run finally met its limit against France. Yassine Bounou saved an early Kylian Mbappé penalty, but France kept coming. Mbappé eventually opened the scoring before Ousmane Dembélé added another just 6 minutes later. France eliminated Morocco for the second consecutive World Cup and reached its 3rd straight semifinal. Belgium entered the quarter-final already dealing with injuries and then lost Thibaut Courtois during the second half. Courtois wanted to continue, but coach Rudi Garcia replaced him anyway, a decision that quickly became controversial. Replacement Sene Lammens later spilled a shot in the 88th minute, allowing Mikel Merino to score another late winner and send Spain through. Norway's fairy tale came agonizingly close to continuing. Andreas Schjelderup gave them the lead before Jude Bellingham equalized just before halftime. But Norway claimed the ball had struck an overhead camera cable during the move. FIFA said its connected ball data showed no contact. Bellingham then scored again in extra time, ending Norway's remarkable run. Switzerland had the defending champions in serious trouble after Dan Ndoye made it 1-1. Then came the tournament's most controversial VAR decision. Briel Embolo received a second yellow for simulation after VAR reversed an earlier decision, leaving Switzerland with 10 men. Argentina eventually scored twice in extra time, but 17 days later, football's lawmakers confirmed that VAR should never have intervened that way. France, Spain, England, and defending champion Argentina were now one victory away from the biggest match in football. France entered the semifinal unbeaten and had not trailed once during the tournament. Spain changed that almost immediately. Mikel Oyarzabal converted a first-half penalty before Pedro Porro added another after the break, while Spain completely neutralized Kylian Mbappé. Afterward, Mbappé admitted France had simply been too sloppy. Spain was heading back to the World Cup final for the first time since 2010. England came within minutes of its first World Cup final since 1966. Anthony Gordon gave them the lead, and with 5 minutes remaining, England was still ahead. Then Argentina struck twice. Enzo Fernandez equalized in the 85th minute before Lionel Messi created Lautaro Martinez's stoppage time winner. But the controversy continued after the whistle, when Argentine players displayed a political banner asserting the country's claim to the Falkland Islands. Argentina was heading back to the final. England's dream was over. And then there were two. European champion Spain against defending world champion Argentina. Lionel Messi had one final opportunity to lift the trophy again, but for most of the night, Argentina could barely escape Spain's pressure. Emiliano Martinez produced save after save to keep the match scoreless. But Argentina's situation became even harder when Enzo Fernandez received a second yellow card in stoppage time. With Argentina reduced to 10 men, Spain finally broke through. In the 106th minute, substitute Ferran Torres fired home the biggest goal of his career. Argentina desperately searched for an equalizer. It never came. Spain won 1-0 and became world champion for the second time. But even after the final whistle, the chaos was not finished. Players from both teams became involved in a confrontation. FIFA later opened an investigation, and the trophy ceremony itself was met with boos from sections of the stadium. After 104 matches, the biggest World Cup in history finally had its champion: Spain. Three countries, 48 teams, 104 matches. The 2026 World Cup was bigger than anything football had attempted before. And from the beginning, almost nothing about it was simple. There were political battles, security fears, worker disputes, travel problems, controversial VAR decisions, historic collapses, and teams that nobody expected to survive. Records fell. New countries made history. Old giants disappeared. And after all of it, Spain stood alone. For all the chaos surrounding the tournament, football somehow remained at the center of the story. The biggest World Cup ever was over, and it was certainly one we will not forget.